When I played with nails, I sometimes used carbon strings, and I quite liked them. But when I cut off my nails, I tried them again, and I didn't get on with them so well. I remember they seemed too bright. They felt strange under the fingers. The string seemed too thin. It just felt unresponsive. I think there's even a video where at some point I say that I don't think carbon strings work without nails. I think I also said the lattice brace guitars don't work without nails, which is something I've had to revise because I've played a couple of lattice brace guitars I actually quite liked. I have to say I've never found a no-nail player who uses carbon strings, but there aren't that many no-nail players, and a lot of them are working with old instruments, so they wouldn't use carbons anyway, so it doesn't necessarily mean that much. And I only tried doing it once, which is not really a fair experiment, and it was right at the beginning of my journey, as it were, learning to play without nails. And I play quite differently now, I think. I have stronger fingers, I can get more sound out of the instruments, more variety of sound too. The texture of my fingertips has changed in subtle ways. So I thought I'd revisit carbon strings and see if I think differently about them now. And hopefully the comparison will be interesting to others as well as myself. So I'm going to record a couple of pieces, very short pieces, on nylons and then on carbons. So the nylons are Bella hard tension rectified nylon. These are really lovely strings, quite hard to get hold of, but beautiful. And the carbons will be Knobloch carbons. I think they're medium tension. I used to use these when I played with nails, and they were really nice strings. They seem to sing very well for carbon strings. And the pieces I will play are two preludes by Tarragher, which I'd never heard before, so I thought they'd be quite fun. They're very, very short preludes. They're from this book, which is a set of exercises, studies, and some preludes that Tarragher wrote, and which Josefina Robledo, his student, noted down, and which she in turn gave to another student who then made this book. It's a really fascinating resource for those of us who are almost unhealthily obsessed with the Tarragher school. So I'm just going to go change my strings and then I'll be back. So what are my impressions? Well, to my surprise, I quite like the carbons. They are a bit brighter, maybe at times slightly too bright for my taste, and they seem a bit louder, but mostly this doesn't come at the expense of tonal quality. In fact, I quite like the pronounced attack, this sort of pinging quality to the note. Of course, it's one thing to hear it from behind the instrument as you're playing it. It's another to see how it will sound as the mics pick it up. Maybe I'll change my mind. In terms of the feel of the string, maybe it still seems slightly thin to me. I do like a thicker string. There's more to grip onto with the flesh. And of course I like a rougher texture, as a lot of no-nail players like. So something like rectified nylons or gut. I don't think there is such a thing as rectified carbons, but maybe I can look into it. So yeah, yet again I have to revise my opinion. When I started researching playing without nails, I tried to develop all these sort of theories about what works and what doesn't work, and how exactly to attack the string, and you quickly come to realize there is no one way to play without nails. There's no one way of plucking, there's no one type of instrument you should use, no one type of strings, no one type of musical style. Really, everything can work in time. And yeah, my initial impressions of carbons, 3 or 4 years ago, was not very good, and with time my fingers change, and clearly now I quite like them. And my fingers respond well to them. I'd be interested to know what others think. Thank you for watching.